Hey, it's Ronnie. It's Thursday. I just got home from work. Little mailbag, and yeah. I said I can have a beer after work. For people who are not old enough to drink, don't. And if you don't want to drink, don't. And if you smoke, try to stop. If you don't smoke, don't start, including pot in legal freaking states where it's legal to smoke pot. Yeah, just, that might lead you into smoking cigarettes. They say marijuana isn't addictive. They always used to say cigarettes aren't addictive either. Anything you do as a habit is addictive, okay? Remember that. It's all in your own mind. Your mind gets used to what you do, and if you do, just like everything you do at home. If you have a certain way you get up in the morning and what you do every morning before you go to work, if you go to work, and it's a constant routine, if something happens and throws that routine off a little tiny bit, and it kind of messes your whole morning up, that's addictive. You're addicted to your routine. Anything can be addictive, okay? Don't ever forget that. Yeah, here's a mailbag. This is cool. I just got this. With all this, my longtail idea is coming together, but I got this. I'll tell you a little secret. I got that. Instead, I had to wait because then I needed, you can't get great big tubes, but this. What I'm going to do, I could do a different way, but I'm going to try to show people how I built this longtail that don't have an access to a $2,000 welder that can weld aluminum and everything and the gases and but this is using off the shelf as much as possible parts to build this, and there is welding involved, and a lot of people that play around outside have a friend has a stick welder. You could do the same thing. It's going to be minimal welding, maximum information, and off the shelf stuff. And the number one thing you need out of all this, like I said, here's my other props. What do wood dowels like this and bolts and tabs and dies and a chunk I'm going to show you the method of my madness, but it all starts with propeller and a shaft that's going to turn that propeller. And this is all for mock-up. I did find my internal drive shaft, and that's 5/8 like this, polished and everything, but it's basically 110 inches, for you people that graduated public school. It's just under 10 inches under 10 feet. 110 inches of this, okay? Yeah, and it's going to be threaded. I'm going to show you when I build it. I'm going to show you all of it. I just love razzing you guys. And this is parts to put that drive shaft to the motor. And I found my tube. I have found access to the main thing. What a shaft long enough that turns this, and that's within 0.003 of an inch tolerance over 10 feet, okay? That's how tight I'm building this to make it right. These propellers are not going to look that way when I'm done with them. There's a reason. And the outer tube, I found I have to drive 100 miles to Omaha, and I need basically 10 feet, but 10 feet of that chromoly tube I'm using that this stuff is going to run in, which you will see, will be the outdrive that goes out into the water from the motor, and then the propeller's out there, basically, 9 feet away, at as well of an angle as possible. I'm going to explain all of it. That piece of tube, chromoly tube they use for race cars, okay, for the roll cages and the frames and everything. Chromoly, I need it perfectly straight, and it's supposed to be, if it don't have a tent, because the 10-foot chunk, they come in 20-foot pieces. I need under a 10-foot piece, but I am lucky I could even find that tube around here within 100 and some miles, and it comes in 20-foot pieces. And you can't ship any even 10-foot UPS, so to ship it via truck from a factory that does the stuff in Minneapolis, Minnesota, basically, for a 10 or 12 foot, they cut it any length you want there. For $160 piece of tubing that's only 10 feet long and that big around and this thick, but it's primo perfect, okay, that I need. Yeah, that was $460 plus $520 to ship it via truck because you can't ship it UPS. Well, I found at Ryerson's in Omaha, carry it the size I need, the exact, but 20 feet lengths. I said, well, I only need, give or take, so if I make them 12 feet. How much for 12 feet? $432 for 12 feet of this tube this big around, right? You're not going to believe it when you see it, but there's a reason. Chromoly, I said just within 5 thousandths, just so tiny. Thickness of a human hair speck, supposedly straight through. Unless it's got something dropped on it, then I'm have to come up with a fix for that. Because it's as shipped as you receive, that's what you get. But yeah, for 12 feet, $430. I said, how much for the 20-foot whole chunk? $330. Well, put me down for a 20-foot chunk, and I need a little under 10 feet, so I'm going to take my hacksaw along and take 20 feet, cut it in half, but a little bit off, and then that'll fit in the back of my pickup real easy. And yeah, oh, yeah, and it's highway robbery from Ryerson, but otherwise they got a truck ship it because it's too long. And nobody carries this stuff around here at all. I'm in the hotbed of steel mills, steel fabrication, metal fabrication, King Steel, Volcraft, Nucor, Norfolk Iron and Metal, Nucor Coal Finish, all these the foundries, right? Nope. Either they don't make that stuff, or I'm a little tiny peon on the world conglomerate of bigger companies because I only want one piece. And yeah, King Steel had the shaft I wanted that I've been searching for 3 weeks, this size, and they have it in stock, 12 feet lengths. I need just under 10 feet. But guess what? Yeah, we have it. How many pieces do you need? I said, I need one piece, 12 feet long. I can come pick it up. If it's got damage on the end, I don't care. I just need a 12 foot. No, we can't sell it to you. That only weighs, what would it be, about 29, 30 pounds, and we have a 600-pound minimum. I said, come on. Nope, won't sell it to me. But here's the people we sell to around the area. I asked them, and then, who do you sell to then that buys 600 pounds at a time of stuff? Okay, well, yeah, Ryerson's one. They wanted, let's see, what this polished shaft is worth at 12 feet, one whole chunk. They want 5 times the price of what it should cost because they sell by the piece. Get my drift? But my wonderful friends at Norfolk Specialties found me my shaft. And I said, I can machine stuff at work. I have excess, well, just not at work. I can tap and thread threads on the end of the shaft, and I can use my own drill press and not have to use a vertical mill that we have at work. But, after hours, no problem. Spot the boss, 12-pack. He's cool. Al, the one that owns everything. You want to work on stuff and use our equipment after your hours? Yeah, just show me what you're making. He's cool as heck. Oh, Al is awesome. But I can show you how to do it on a drill press and just drill holes. You take the time. But while Norfolk Specialties got me the shaft, that's 10 inches long, it's coming in, and I'm just going to have them make, being they found me it for a normal price, okay, which $100 for 110 inches, and I'm going to pay them to machine a keyway. And little, I'll show you what a keyway is if you don't know. A 3-inch keyway on one end and 5 inches of right hand 5/8 11 pitch threads on the other end. Where they got it, they're a big giant machine shop, design, build, fabricate, and even my buddies, when I said, hey, can you find me this? Well, what the heck are you building? I said they call it a Thai longtail, but China came up with them first. But I don't know why they call it Thai, because now the pieces you buy, like the props, are all made in Thailand. And oh, cool. Yeah, what are you doing? Well, no, he found all this stuff. $100 for the shaft plus the machining. If it's another $100, I don't have to do it. And that's what I'm trying to show, is how you can make something that didn't exist that's 5 times better and stronger than what you can purchase, and have it done right, and still do it yourself if you want to. I said you could do this with the stick welder, what I'm going to weld, but you need to know what you're doing, okay? Or a wire welder with core flux, or if you got a buddy that knows, spot him a 24-pack, have him weld the stuff up like I'm going to show you and square it all up. You can do this stuff with a hacksaw and a square, and by hand do everything except the welding. And, and the turning that's what this is for. This is for cutting threads on inside. I have this. That's for cutting threads on the outside of the shaft, but I'd have to, grind it down with an air grinder or something. But that makes threads all the way. I said like this. Okay, that's what that shaft, 110 inches long, is going to look like, and that's it. Is that awesome? But here's the deal. What's this? People, what's this thing? Okay, this is a jig for changing those propellers from Thailand that are tapered shaft push-on with a keyway, if you can see that. That's a keyway, that little square chunk out, and the key goes in. That's not going to work for me. I don't like that. I'm going to have this whole inside filled up, and then it's going to be this size, the same size as the shaft, okay? This is the same size as that shaft I'm making. This right here, 5/8 11. It's going to be solid inside all the way, and then it's going to have a hole through where this will fit straight through, and then it's going to have threads on it so I can thread it onto the shaft and then put a nut behind it, because it's a lot stronger. And I don't care for tapered shafts. That's the easy, cheap way, but it's not the good way. But I have to fill in this area. I could do it with my wire welder with aluminum, put a piece of copper tube in the center, drop it in, and just build it from both sides full of aluminum, and then drill it. But I'm going to do it like people would have to do from off-the-shelf part. And I had this. JB Weld works great, and it's high tensile strength, and it'll work. Just fill that hole up and then drill the hole and thread it to fit this. But guess what? It doesn't show anywhere on any other packages, any other packaging, anything, that original JB Weld or any of the other JB Welds except Marine Weld. If you look into the technical specifications that are available online, any other type of JB Weld except Marine Weld is not recommended to be submerged in water. Well, what do you think this propeller is going to be? It's going to be in water, isn't it? So, no, I'm not going to chance it. You can probably get by. It's going to have a bolt and a nut on each end. Water probably never get in it, but it says, by their technical specifications, in the fine print, not recommended for submersion in water. Well, that's going to be underwater, so. And this one says all the same specs except it can be submerged in water constantly and doesn't matter. So they changed the program a little bit on it. So yeah, I just got that in. There you go. But what you need is information. Number one, you need an idea. You need true information. You need true measurements and true specifications, and you can design anything. Cool as hell, man. But yeah, so I can't use that. Well, I could and probably get by. I'm not gonna. And then what this is, oh, you want to see what this is gonna do? This is so I can find a dead center and fill this up with the JB weld. I need to bore a hole perfectly square here, and this is going to be really short. It's my guide, and then this is going to slide down in a little hole, and then I want the big end of the prop to fill with JB weld. Look at the small end. It'd be kind of hard, but it don't sit. If you try to sit it with the small end down, it hits. So you make a little jig like this out of wood, where I can set it like this, and I will have a hole bored through directly dead center this size of this little wood dowel, so I can totally center it, totally have it centered perfect, and then I will tape this down to this jig with the little wooden dowel for dead center and measure off of it, because I don't want any vibration. It has to be perfect, the hole that I drill. And once I got it filled up and I drill it and tap it, it has to be dead center. And I don't have laser guided stuff and junk to check, so this is how you do it old school. You make a wooden jig, and this will only stick up yay high, and that'll be taped down, and then I'm going to fill that up with the marine JB weld and vibrate it and get all the air bubbles out and let it set. It says 24 hours, and I'm going to let it set probably 4 or 5 days, and I'm going to drill and tap a hole where this 5/811 will turn in. See, it's too big on this side, and I could tap it right now and get part of it aluminum. But this stuff's, yeah, I'll show you. It's gonna be neat, man. I said this is all prototype, but hopefully I get it darn close to correct. Okay, but you need an idea. You need true information you have to find. Then you'll be able to have to check your true information with a dial calipers down to 3/1007 inch. The slide caliper. Now, when I'm building like engines, that the parts cost $30,000 or $40,000 for diesel engines on the farm and stuff. This I use to check first, but then you use a thing called a dial indicator, or it's not a caliper. There's a micrometer. Yeah, micrometer goes down to tens of thousandths of an inch. This will go down to thousandths of an inch. I said, when I build stuff, I build it right. Yeah, I don't like it blowing up, but yeah, this all makes sense when I show you. But yeah, there's my mailbag, and JB Weld is not recommended for submersion in water. JB Weld Marine, no problem. Same strength, everything, but hey, there you go. Check all your specs. All the information's out there. You got to know what you're working with if you want to do it correct. Okay, I ain't gonna do it part way. I'm gonna still do it cheaper than what it would cost me to do and go buy a marketed longtail kit that is the best one they got is crap, and the most expensive American-made one, well, it's junk, total design crap. Couple rednecks just said, we're going to make this shit and we're going to sell it and lie about how good it works and look at all this. And yeah, just watch the, I could tear them apart. I'm not going to mention their name. It's crap. Anybody that needs a they call it a cavitation plate around the prop, and they're running an angle this steep into the water with a propeller that should be this way, and it's running this way in the water, pushing the boat. What's wrong with that picture? They call it it's an anti-cavitation plate, and it sucked. And even with the best props and stuff, you can look them up on YouTube, hunt for it, you'll find it backwater. The fastest you could get this thing to go with the best props and all this stuff and junk they sent to make them look good was 15 miles an hour, and you can take a $380 super cheap kit that'll do 20 mile an hour with the same setup, because it's engineered. Yeah, it ain't gonna take a beating like theirs, but their markup on their stuff is just freaking immaculate, and it's really a crappy design. And they sell them. I'd never buy one. I emailed them and talked to them about, would you help me out? Maybe get where if I could buy a prop, because their stuff is threaded. And, no, you got to buy the whole kit, and for like $1,400 for a piece of crap, small little tiny kit that'll handle 6.5 horses. And then what kills me, they got videos. Here's how you mount our transom mount for our deal on this boat, and it's their own freaking boat, and it's their own design and their own fancy mount. But guess what? The mount goes this way on the outside, and there's a steel plate goes on the inside, and they show you right there. They're that stupid. Oh yeah, this is recommended, so it's solid. Our transom goes here, and you got to drill holes through your boat and then bolt it with a plate on the inside. But we can't even use the steel plate on the inside of our own freaking boat because it won't fit. I have to put a link to that. And these guys out are bragging about how great their stuff. Well, why don't you design something to at least fit your own boat that you're using to try to sell this stuff? It's just, here's how you're supposed to. We can't even use our own steel backup plate on our own boat that we're showing you how great our stuff is because it don't work. I'm not going to run into that problem. But yeah, JB Weld is not recommended for underwater submersion, okay? JB Weld Marine, no problem. I'm going to make sense of all of it. You're going to love it. Have a good one. And the sun's still just going down over the hill. It's 55 degrees, and it's beautiful. And I said, all my pieces and parts, I found everything I need now. Let's see if I can design it correct and all my measurements and stuff. Something's going to be wrong. Something's going to be wrong. There's stuff going to go wrong. This is even, and wait till you see what I'm going to do to the boat. I found all the stuff I need for that too. I bought my Joan boat. It had a tree fall on it. It's beat. I'm not going to do this with a brand new boat, because what I'm going to do with void the warranty, I just got to straighten out the boat I bought that's damaged. Yeah, don't worry, I can do it. Yeah, I'll show y'all how to do that too. Pretty cool. All right, man, you have a good one. Peace. Love, have a heart, because I'm holding my phone. Have a heart. There's a cat. Hey, what's up, dude? That's a cat that showed up that lived here 6 years ago, was born here, disappeared for 5 years, and now about last 2 weeks. Old Yeller's been back. Pretty cool. Yeah, look at that screwed up snoot. Yeah, you've been in a few fights. And don't cause no problem, because I said, hey, you don't live here anymore. You left. You're on your own. You make any trouble. Don't make no trouble. Hi, you're on YouTube. All right, man. That's beautiful. I'm going to have that shaft next week, and then the tubing I have to go get at the end of next week and take a day off work. And that's the main thing, the drive shaft system. That tube with a shaft like this going through it for 9 feet that I'm building to spin a propeller over 15,000 RPM if I want to. This motor will spin 3,900 to 4,200. I could turn that up and play with the governor. But in case I don't like the 4th thumper and I want to go to a 2-cycle and spin 10,000 RPMs, I can do it. I don't have to rebuild anything. I said I'm building it, and it's not going to hurt it at low speed at all. And I can always go up to super high speed with a very low pitch prop. Yeah, I said it's all experimental. What works best in the shallow water that I'm going to be running. But if it works with the low speed, I overbuild it. That's awesome. Cool breeze. If it ain't quite what I want and I go to a high speed and try that, I'm not out nothing. All I have to do is change a prop. And the motor, which I have a couple 2-cycles that'll spin 9-10 grand, no problem, just sitting around in the shed waiting to get out and get the sun. So there you go. Always think ahead, but ideas, then real information, then real trial and error mock-ups, not on computers. Don't believe a computer program on CAD or any of that crap, because the ones that made those programs are just going off of stuff that they don't even know what it means, okay? Do it yourself like I do, the old school way. You don't need a computer to build something that never existed, all right? Even if it's really, really technical. At least have the idea and the proof of concept word. Y'all take care. I love you. Stuff's coming together. I finally found my parts, and it's going to get warm enough, where I can start piece by piecing this thing together and see what fails first. Awesome, ain't it? I love it. Don't worry, it's not going to be perfect. So I'm going to have failures, but I'll understand why. But I got to come up with the best design I can in my mind first, and not just to get by. I said I want this to be, and once all the bugs are out and it's working correct, I hopefully would never have to replace a part in that drive, except maybe a prop if I hit something. Even if I hit something really hard and break props, it's not going to break or destroy anything. And the bearings and stuff I'm using are supposedly 10,000 hour bearings. That's a lot of time on the water, okay? But I got top of the line bearings too. I'm not messing around. All right, man, y'all have a good one. I love you. Just open your mind, dream, make it happen, man. Make it happen. You don't have to have any freaking paperwork, college degrees. You have an idea, you can do it with. I'm trying to show how you can actually do things with pretty much already available parts, if you can just find the right people that deal in them. It's awesome, man. Love you. God bless you. I will be back, I promise. Take care. Just be smart, be safe. Don't be afraid. Be you. Love you. Ciao.